game should cost more money.
This game has some bugs.
We're talking today about Xbox.
It's stupid. Harry Potter is stupid.
I'm talking about another episode of the Salty Batch Files.
Alright, I got hands-on. I finally got to play Redfall from Arcane.
Baldur's Gate 3 is completely forgotten.
Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope you all had a great time over the holidays and I wish you all the best for the new year. This is the first video of the new year, so we're going to start off with a bang. We're going to celebrate all the fanboys from 2023 and see who's the best, or even the worst, depending on how you look at it, fanboy of 2023. Now these are my personal picks for fanboy of the year 2023, so I would like to hear your input in the comments below after you've listened to the video. So let's get it started. First of all, I'm going to go on honourable mention and mentions. So the first one isn't actually a fanboy, it's just a person that had the worst take on the internet, in my personal opinion, at the beginning of 2023. And that person is Jim Stephanie Sterling.
Nah, I don't care. It's stupid. Harry Potter is stupid. And it's about time someone said it was bad, because nobody in the history of ever...
So go suck your mum, you butter skirt!
Jim's take on Hogwarts Legacy at the start of the year was just awful. That whole video was really difficult to listen to, and Jim didn't just transition into a woman, he transitioned into a complete arsehole, because his take on Hogwarts Legacy was nothing to do with the game at all. It was just him rambling about J.K. Rowling for about half an hour. And honestly, if you're going to be a games journalist, you should keep your politics to one side. If you're going to review a game, you should have had to play the game fully and not judge it because of the creator of the franchise. Sorry, Jim Stephanie Sterling, your credibility as a games journalist has gone down the toilet. And I think if you want to keep injecting your politics into game reviews, you shouldn't be doing your job. Now I got the worst take of the year out of the way, now let's talk about the fanboys. And I'm just going to mention a few people quickly first. I don't think they deserve to be anywhere near the runner-ups for fanboy of the year, but they should be mentioned nevertheless. Now first of all, I got JTechTV. JTechTV has had bad takes for many years. He's a massive PlayStation fanboy, and during a stream a few weeks back, I listened to a conversation he had that was very questionable about younger people, shall I say, and I will leave it at that. JTech says some really bad things and I find him really cringe to cover, so I don't go to cover his videos very often. And he does more live streams than anything else these days, so finding bad takes is too much of a headache. Next we have MBG, and MBG this year has behaved for the most part. He's had some bad takes here and there. Yes, he's a PlayStation fanboy, I know it, but he's been pretty peaceful, and all I hear him saying is Sony, Sony, Sony a million times, so watching his videos or his live streams have become really difficult as well, but I don't think he's anywhere near fanboy of the year for 2023. Now, Greg Miller could have gone in the main list, but Greg Miller hasn't done enough. But there's another one, I watch his videos and my face wants to melt, because I really struggle to listen to him. His takes on PC gaming are really bad, and the fact that he loves Sony so much really makes me want to cry with cringe. And finally we have IGN for their bad review scores and their blatant bias for Sony games. Well, I don't know if the bias is actually viable, but it looks that way. Destin Laguerre is the only one in IGN with any credibility. He actually has decent videos on his own, and I think Destin would be better for it if he just left IGN, to be honest. but it's his own decision to stay there, and he probably gets paid quite well from them. But IGN, nevertheless, they seem to be one-sided on the console section of gaming. Hold up, as I was editing this, I just realised I missed two of the biggest PlayStation fanboys ever to exist on YouTube. So, the first one is, hey, it was your boy Dreamcast Gaming, coming at you live with another video. Look, listen. These Xbox fanboys are delusional out here about Game Pass. Them motherfuckers don't want to buy any games at all. And then you have the PC guys. They don't want to buy any games neither because they just want to pirate everything, Mike. What? And yes, King Thrash, he's not done anything unusual this year. He's just been the same old King Thrash as he normally is. So he won't be in the main nominations, but King Thrash is worth mentioning. Now next up we have, this is the Amazing Lucas. So the Amazing Lucas always graces us with stupidity and something funny for us all to laugh at. But the same again goes, Lucas is always salty at some point. A huge PlayStation fanboy, always does silly things, but nothing unusual this year. So Lucas is also left out of the main nominations. Out of the way, I'm going to talk about now the nominees for Fanboy of the Year 2023. And we're going to start off with Colt Eastwood.
All right, I got hands-on. I finally got to play Redfall from Arcane. Let's look at what the game looks like. Let's see what...
Colt Eastwood had the worst time of his life with Redfall. And to be honest with you, he did have an explanation with it, but he fanboyed hard for that game. He's been a hardcore Xbox fanboy for so long, and I think he just wants Xbox to do really good, and I don't blame him in some ways. Colt has fanboyed hard for Xbox for such a long time, but he won't win this award because he hasn't been as much of a hardcore fanboy as most of the people I see on Twitter and on YouTube. So, Colt, you get a spotlight in this video, but you are not winning the Fanboy of the Year award, my boy. Now for the next one, I'm going for a pure crazy person, a die-hard Nintendo fan. And when I say die-hard Nintendo, nothing is good except for Nintendo, and that is Hammond Smith.
Brand new year, same situation. Baldur's Gate 3 is completely forgotten. Elden Ring's DLC is gonna come and go. And
Hammond Smith actually believes no game is good unless it comes out on Nintendo. And if it's multi-platform and out on everything else, it sort of gets a pass. But he's in the belief that Baldur's Gate 3 is going to die soon, just the same as Elden Ring has. Elden Ring a year later still doing good numbers on Twitch, still doing good numbers on videos on YouTube. So everything Hammond Smith, you don't even take it with a grain of salt. You just listen to it as if it's absolute bullshit. I have never seen a fanboy like him. To die hard for a console that's so out of date, it can barely run the games that's designed for the console itself. Hammond Smith isn't winning this year, but he deserves to be in the spotlight and shown to as many people as possible, or as many as people as going to see this video, how much of a fanboy Hammond Smith is. And I actually think he's crazy. And next on the list I have Porto 77.
For like a good while, I get DMs and private messages from all types of gamers, right? But the one that catches my eye the most is the Game Pass gamers. And this is a specific audience, right?
Porto isn't the worst person. He doesn't go after people. He's not a nasty guy. But he likes to talk shit about Xbox all the time. He's a diehard Sony fanboy, and Sony can do no wrong. And he's delusional about how many games that are actually on the PS5. And it's the same with a lot of PlayStation fanboys. They're huffing a lot of copium when it comes to the fact that there is really not much games available on the PlayStation 5 alone. When it comes to this current gen titles alone, there really isn't many. And people like Porto seem to think that PlayStation's the only place you can get games, when you have so many other platforms that have multi-plat games, and you can play them whichever way you like, such as the PC, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, or the PlayStation 5. But Porto has had bad takes, but he's nowhere near the worst fanboy. He's not winning any awards. He gets to be in the spotlight because he had said some stupid shit this year. Now next up we have Koala Man X-Vault Gaming.
Alright, so like I was saying, what we're essentially going to go over is the fact that these Xbox fanboys are going in a complete meltdown once again.
X-Vault Gaming went after Fritanga and Alex pretty hard this year, but he tried to anyway and failed miserably. He went the wrong way about it, and he's not very liked among a lot of people. But he is getting a lot more subscribers on YouTube, so I'm guessing we're going to get a lot more really bad takes from X-Vault Gaming. He's had a lot of bad takes on Twitter in the past, and since he's grown his YouTube channel slightly, he has made very badly edited videos and has said some really silly things. Xfault was actually close to being a winner on this one, but he didn't have the worst take of the year, so Xfault, you're not winning this one, but you were pretty fucking close. And next up we have probably most people's favourite fanboy to hate. It is Dreamcast Guy, and Dreamcast Guy always has really bad takes. He fakes his outrages so often. He fakes his game reviews, so what we heard by the end of the year, he said some really bad stuff about the Xbox Showcase and Starfield. Fair enough if you didn't like the game, but he chose he wasn't going to like it before he even tried it. When he rage quit his stream, and then instantly, within 20 minutes, uploaded a video saying how bad that Starfield looked. But at the end of the year, he did have a slight redemption arc where he was talking down to Sony about Sony possibly raising the price of their games. He caught a slight W by the end of the year, but it doesn't quite redeem him for everything else he says in most of his videos. So Dreamcast Guy is not a winner for Fanboy of the Year, but he was another one that came really close. And last up we have the actual winner for Fanboy of the Year 2023. Even though he doesn't want to be known as a Sony fanboy, he definitely is a Sony fanboy. He just doesn't want to admit it, and I think he'd be better off if he did admit it, because then I think he'd stop getting ripped on so hard. And that is Reforge Gaming.
Like these anybody that defends these practices is a corporate shill, so they make it tribalistic. So like anybody that tries to just level with you about these games are barely making their profits sometimes. They've got to have other ways to monetize. There has to be an evolution here. Games should cost more money. They would do it if they could get away with it. I think games right now, if you valued them at what goes into them, the production cost, the project length, the quality of the games that we get, I think games should be like $100.
Now Reforge Gaming wins this for one reason and one reason only. Very, very recently he had a bad take about the price of video games and how the cost of video games being made is going up, and that they should charge more for video games. And that's what makes him Fanboy of the Year. You cannot tell me games should be charged at $100 a piece. Games should be even cheaper than they are now. He had a whole rant about it and how game developers should be making more money out of these games, and to do so they should be charging more for these games. Sorry Reforge, I cannot agree with you at all. You had the worst take of the year. Plus, you recently went on about piracy in video games. You went on about how PC gamers are some of the worst gamers. Your takes are the worst on the internet. But there's a lot I can agree with him with, but sorry, the price increase argument he had, I cannot forgive him for that one. And that'll about do it. Reforge Gaming wins Fanboy of the Year 2023, and I can't wait to make more videos this year. I've been a bit lazy over the holiday season, I've been quite busy, had a lot of family over, had a pretty nice time, ate too much food, now I'm suffering for it, but never mind. I hope you guys had a great holiday as well. What do you think? Who do you think the best fanboy of the year is? Oh, and I forgot to mention at the end of the video I was going to do the Twitter fanboy of the year, and that was the Red Karen. I forgot to mention him during the video. That's how forgettable the Red Karen is, but every time he pops up on my timeline I want to go sick in my mouth. And that'll do it for me in this video. Let me hear your thoughts on who you thought the fanboy of the year of 2023 was. I would like to hear it in the comments below. Now like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
I'm going to be first in line to absolutely suck those Microsoft toes.